more global, affecting women from everywhere.
So it actually all started with me not being able to breathe, thinking that it was asthma. And then I realized my feet were swollen. And I called my OBGYN, and they kept saying, hey, you're just having a big baby. So, hey, just rest, drink water, don't do anything. That was not the case. I kept going back and forth back to my PCP. And they, like I said, thought that it was asthma, put me on inhalers, did breathing treatments, everything that you can name of, steroids, everything. And I ended up in the urgent care. And the doctor there diagnosed me. He asked me, what's been going on. And in the midst of our conversation, I was like, yeah, I just had a baby about 6 weeks ago. And he was like, you did what? And I was like, yeah, I just had a baby about 6 weeks ago. And he looked at me with this crazy, funny look. And I was like, what does that mean? And he was like, I'll be right back. And he came back into the room and he was like, okay, we're going to do chest x-ray and we're going to do some tests and stuff, run some tests on you. And I'm like, oh, okay. So we did the test. He did the x-ray. He came back in and he was like, what hospital do you want to go to? And I was like, I'm looking at him like, y'all don't do breathing treatments in the urgent care? Like, what urgent care am I in right now? Because I'm still thinking it's just real bad asthma. And he was like, no, you're in heart failure. And I was like, what? What do you mean heart failure? Like, I worked in a cardiology clinic for 10 years, pediatric, 10 years. Not one time did it dawn on me that, hey, I would be in heart failure. So when he came and told me, we went back and forth. I'm like, I called basically the doctor. I was like, you a lie. I was like, no, I'm not in heart failure. He was like, yes, you are. So of course he started IV on me, gave me Lasix immediately. He was like, you can't drive home. You can't even drive to the hospital. You got to go to the hospital by emergency, by the ambulance. And I was like, okay, like, okay, wait, hold on, wait, what's going on? I'm breastfeeding. I got a 6-week baby at home. I got 2 other kids. Wait, slow it down. Hold on, wait a minute. And he was like, yeah, you can't leave here tonight by car because you might not make it to the hospital. And when he told me that, that's when the tears came. But the tears came because of the fact that I was like, I wasn't even worried about me. I was worried about how my baby gonna get milk. That was the first thing. I was like, I'm breastfeeding.
Exactly.
I'm breastfeeding. He was like, that's the least of your concern right now. But being a mommy, right. And that's the thing with being a mommy, is like your kids come first. And that was my mindset. But so anyway, the ambulance got there. I went to the hospital and they did the next morning, well, they started me on more meds. And then the next morning, I had an echo and it showed my ejection fraction being only at 20%. And that's when it went down here. Like it was just, that's when it all really hit the next morning when I woke up and they came in there and done the echo on me. And again, like I said, I was in cardiology for 10 years. And when they told me 20%, I knew automatically. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, are you serious? Like, I see these numbers all the time. Like, nah, that's not me. Because I'm still walking around. I'm just exhausted. I have just a lot of fluid, but I'm thinking, when I have seen kids in heart failure, they have tubes hooked up, like they look bad, right? And so again, I'm still in denial, like, no, I don't have heart failure. I'm still calling everybody a lie. I'm like, no.
Feel like it either. I feel like I was sick.
Yeah, right. I'm still thinking it's asthma. I'm still thinking they wrong. But yeah, so I was in the hospital for about a week with running meds. I had meds around the clock. And I was sent home with a life vest. And when they put me in that life vest and was like, okay, this is for if your heart does stop, it's going to shock you back. Again, my first instinct was, I can't even hold my baby. What if my heart stopped while I'm holding my baby and I get shocked back? I done dropped the baby.
Amen.
That was my
horrible.
Yes, that was my concern. Like, okay, wait. I'm like, okay, do I wear this life vest or do I don't? Like that? I was really going back and forth. Like, I got a new baby. Like, I can't not wear the vest and then I die or pass out or a heart stop and no one's gonna be there with me. Right. Right. And those are the dilemmas that, you know, and it sounds crazy, but being a mom, those are the things that you really do think of. And it's just, I had my mom had to come and stay with me. My sister came and stayed with me and my grandma. I literally couldn't walk from like my kitchen to like my bedroom without basically giving out of breath. I had to wait till someone got home. Like if my husband got home like late at night, I would wait till he get home just to take a shower. So just little bitty things like that I couldn't do because I had to take that life vest off. And that was the only time that I felt comfortable. Even though I had my mom, my sister, my grandma there, I felt more comfortable with my husband being there. I don't know why.
Right.
But I took the vest off.
Yeah.
I don't know. But that was the only time that I will wait. So I basically had timed showers. I would wait till he get home to take that life vest off, jump into the shower. Now my showers was probably like 2 minutes. You hit the areas and you back out because you just that afraid. Like, what if I go out while I'm in the shower? Yeah.
The moments we don't get to talk about. Okay.
Right. So I jump in the shower real quick, get back out, and that went on for I was on that life vest for about a month and a half. So that went on for like a month and a half. Still wasn't gaining my strength and stuff back. Still was very exhausted. Still afraid to hold my newborn baby. I actually had my one of my best friends and her mom would actually keep the baby throughout the daytime, but I fell into depression. I was stressed out. I did those silent cries that I always talk about, you know, because we're taught to be strong. So, and deep down I was hurting. So it was like, you know, people ask me, you okay? And I'm like, yeah. And so I would always blame the baby late at night. If I was crying, I would just blame it on the baby. Oh, the baby got me up. I'm just tired. But no, I was hurting. I was hurting deep down inside. Like why is this happening to me? And I know it's plenty of other women out there that have had it worse. But at that moment, I felt like my situation was the worst. And like, I just couldn't, And again, I did the silent cries whenever like everyone would go to sleep. I'm on my pillow. I'm just over there just boo-hooing. But again, someone asks what's going on. It's, oh, the baby up. You know, I'm just tired because of the baby. But yeah.
I really taught how to express ourselves, you know, on how we, and like you said, we're expected to be strong. And, you know, that I shielded me away from the hospital as well, or trying to get myself checked on. So I'm like, I'm okay, you know.
Right. So yeah, that's how it all happened. And I mean, I'm stronger now. I'm eating healthier. My sister, she's a chef. So when she came over, she was like, nope, this is not what you're going to do. This is what you are going to do. Like, she taught me how to cook all over again. Yeah. So yeah, she taught me all kind of different foods to cook. And I learned so much. And then it made me go to school to become a health coach. So that way that I can.
Wow.
Yeah, all of this can't, So now by coaching, right. So now like I try to help individuals before it gets to now, of course, you know, studies are taught that they don't know why PPCM occurs.
Right.
But I tell people, you don't want a reason to have to change. Like, you don't want a reason to become healthy. You want to be healthy before that reason comes. Which in this situation, it wasn't because I ate wrong, it was because I was simply doing something that my body was naturally supposed to do, was delivering a baby. But and so with me becoming a health coach and learning so much now about different kind of foods, when I hear people talk about diabetes in their family, heart disease in their family, I'm like, pump the brakes. You don't want that. You don't want to get that diagnosed, hey, you got diabetes, and then you want to change it. You want to change that before you even go to the doctor and that doctor even let it out his mouth, you have diabetes. You don't even want him to say you have diabetes or you have heart disease now because of your diet. So yeah, so all of this full circle. Now I'm health coaching and teach CPR. So people with or without a breath, life matters.
I'm so glad that, you know, it's bringing you to be able to do different things and inspire you to do different things, you know, because that's one thing I guess big on with now is that making sure that even though if you are patient to something, suffering from something, to still try to enjoy and live your life the best you can, you know, because we don't know how much longer we got, you know, but knowing that we have this is like a ticking clock for us. It's like, well, we don't know what to expect, you know, and you know, then with the losses that we see in our PPCM community, it's like it's discouraging sometimes, but you know, we have to still try to keep ourselves pushing. We have our kids up to us, you know. So I'm so glad that we are able to come out to open up our stores and share, you know, and at least try to bring awareness, try to save a life, you know.
Right. And that's what it is about, bringing awareness, letting this be known. And I tell people that are pregnant, I'm like, hey, ask for that BNP. And they looking at me like, what?
Yeah. I know we're not jinxing you. You know, we want you to be safe. And we went through that. Oh, well, if we would have known to ask about this, we would have caught it ourselves. So maybe if we tell somebody else, you might catch it yourself. You know, you just never know. So we have to tell you.
Right. Yeah. And and like with my coaching, I tell people, listen to your body. Had I not kept going to the doctor, and I'm like, this is asthma. Like, this is the worst case of asthma I done ever had. Like, it still just don't feel like me. It don't feel right. Listen to your body. Your body will tell you. Don't let no one downplay it. It's your body. You take care of it and you listen to your body because your body's going to tell you.
With being a health coach, I was going to ask, are you able to kind of like explain a little bit on what it means to listen to our bodies, you know, because I know sometimes like some women be like, I don't know, or young women, you know, don't really know what that means to listen to their bodies, you know. So how would you explain that?
Right. So the simplest way I can explain it, you know how we were quick to say, I got a headache. Mm-hmm. Then later on down the road, it can be, I'm going to say 5 years down the road. You keep complaining about this headache, right? You keep complaining about it. I got a headache. Oh, I've always had headaches. And it become your normal. You have a headache, you'll go pop a pill. Then you keep going. As you get older, you go to the doctor. The doctor comes to you with a diagnosis of, you have high blood pressure. And you like, where that come from? You had a sign, but we kept ignoring it because it became our normal. I'm not saying it's going to take 5 years to develop, but that's just an example. You know, you have that headache and it becomes your normal to, like I say, you just put a Motrin in your mouth or a Tylenol in your mouth, headache go away, but yet it'll come back and you just keep putting that pill back in your mouth. Keep on doing that. But come to find out, you have high blood pressure. And then when you sit down and you look at your diet and you start seeing all the sodium that you've been eating. And then, so that's kind of how I tell people, listen to your body. It's not normal for you just to always have headaches. It's not normal for you to, your back's always hurting. And now I understand with age, things start to change a little bit. I get that. That's a different kind of ache and pain. But don't just dismiss it like this is something that I've always had. Don't dismiss that. Start listening to your body because your body's going to tell you when something is not going right. It's like with me, my feet kept swelling up and I'm like, it's not normal for my feet to swell up like this. This ain't me. Like, I've had 2 other children, and I know every pregnancy is different, but no. And I'm doing what the doctor's telling me to do. Sit down, put your feet up, and drink water. And my feet still look like, I call them Shrek feet. My feet was like about as big as Shrek. Like, it looked like if you touched them, they was gonna bust. Yes. And I was like, no, that ain't me. No, that's not me. So yeah, listen to your body, and don't be afraid to look at your body. Look at you. If something don't look right on you, go to the doctor.
Man, oh, thank you so much for breaking that down and explaining. You taught me something here today. Writing a little bit about your health coach or your business. Is it a business or what you doing?
Yes, it's Ebonie Speaks, honey. Ebonie Speaks LLC. Yes, it's legit.
Okay.
So yeah, it's eboniespeaks.com. It's EBONIE speaks SPEAKS.com. Okay. Thank you so much. I did want to ask one more thing. So did it change anything like with your mental health, or did it? I know you said you developed depression from the postpartum depression, but did you experience the depression with just the hard stuff, or was it all everything together? It was all everything together. I developed I developed depression, right? Of course, postpartum depression. Now, I was never diagnosed because I was one of those ones. I'm not going to no doctor. Like, ain't nobody gonna diagnose me that I got depression, because I was one of those ones who, if you think if you go and get diagnosed with depression, it means you're crazy. That's how we was always taught, right? It's something really wrong with you. Like, you shouldn't be going to go see no psychiatrist or nothing. That's what we was taught. So true. Yeah, so I was never diagnosed with it, but all the symptoms, I had all the symptoms, all the signs. That was me. And so what happened with that is that, so I developed depression. And of course I had my family and things like that for support to help me overcome it. But then I fell back in it because I ended up getting pregnant again. My husband and I, we ended up getting pregnant again in the midst of trying to figure out what was the best birth control, because we knew that pregnancy would lead to death. So so the doctor was like, well, you have to have a medical abortion. So I had to do something that I did not believe in. And that was like the worst decision ever. But it was one of the biggest decisions that I had to make in my lifetime as well. So we had to end up having a medical abortion, and I fell back into deep depression. Now that one right there, it was hard. But again,
understandable too.
Yeah. But I had the support of my family and things like that. And I knew, even though we was taught, that you don't go and seek help when you're depressed. You put your big girl panties on and you roll with it. That's how we was taught, and that's what you got to do. Right. Yeah. And you keep on rolling. Right. But at the same time, I say that made me strong, because of the fact that it's like, okay, Ebonie, you have kids, you need to come out of this. Like, it took a lot of me talking to myself and to understand that when you talk to yourself, you're not crazy. So it took a lot of me talking to myself, motivating myself, and again, having like that accountability and that support from my family and things like that to help me get out of all that depression and things like that. So that's what helped me with my depression and like stress and confidence level, all that. Yeah, was support.
A shout out to the family.
Right.
Yeah, helping everybody.
Right. Yes. They're always in my corner.
Lack of that mean to have that lack of support, or what it means to have the support, so that is very, very important. Thank you, Ned. Thank you so much, Ebonie.
Of course.
Is that you would like to share or ask anything?
No, just to my fellow PPCM ladies, keep on pushing. And I know that y'all probably are so tired of hearing that. Keep pushing, keep pushing. It's like, well, where's the end? Where's the light at the end of this tunnel? It's there. It's there. Don't give up. Again, that support when you feeling your lowest and you got someone, I always tell someone, have somebody around you that's going to be funny. Humor.
That's
If
true.
you have someone around you that can make you smile and crack a joke, that right there, that humor would just, man, it relieves so much stress to have just that funny, I say just crazy person around you. Just to, just kind of open up. But again, you have that person that's serious that, you can always go and talk to, because I mean, you do have those serious moments in your life that you do just need someone just to listen. So have that outlet as well. So I say, number one, have a serious person in your life. And number two, you have a person that's always just silly and crazy and gonna make you smile.
All right. Amen. Thank you so much, Miss Ebony, for sharing your story with us today.
Of course, it was my pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Hold on. Let me get ready to cut us off real quick. Stop my recording.